Okay, as of July 2023, the Singaporean passport offers holders visa-free or visa-free on arrival access to 192 countries and territories, ranking the Singapore passport first in the world. This came out in the Henley Passport Index, maintaining it's the most powerful passport streak since 2018, despite a drop in destinations at its peak. Now, remember, this passport does not allow dual citizenship. So if you get this passport, as far as visa-free travel, it's tops. Right now, it was, as of this month, it was rated the #1 visa-free document in the world as far as number of travel countries that you can go to, visa-free or visa-free on arrival. These are countries and territories. Now, Singapore does have real good tax laws too. You're looking at, for 2023, roughly about 22.5%. And most of that, those brackets are actually in lower, in other words, your effective rate across the board on all income is probably going to be a lot lower than that. Depends on what your income is. But again, you're going to have to get used to the fact that they don't allow dual citizenship. So if you get the passport there, which is pretty difficult to get, you're going to have to relinquish all your other passports. That's the biggest disadvantage of this passport. Now, it used to be that Japan had that title, and now Japan lost visa-free. I mean, these countries, they zig and zag. They lost some visa-free status to certain countries, and so they dropped back. In fact, for 5 years, from 2018 to 2022, Japanese citizens had visa-free or visa-free on arrival access to the most countries and territories in the world, making that passport the most powerful passport in the world as far as in terms of travel freedom. However, in 2023, the Japanese passport fell from first place down to third place. And as far as the Henley Passport Index is concerned, and now it's got about 189 countries that are visa-free or visa-free on arrival. Now, the things that you got to look at, you can't just look at visa-free travel, though. Japan also doesn't allow dual citizenship. So, to me, if you ever have a problem and you only have one passport and you don't want to solve that problem and the country cancels your passport, you're pretty much stateless. You can't do anything, or they choose not to renew it. And this is why I tell people you can't just look at visa-free travel. You need to look at countries that allow dual citizenship, that have good tax laws, because you want to be able to go and work in that country if you got the citizenship, because in a lot of cases, a lot of citizens are barred out for certain business opportunities. So if you're not a citizen in that country and have good tax laws where you can pay zero income tax, then I don't call it a good passport, okay? Now, as far as visa-free travel, this is a good passport, okay? Now, Singapore tightens, now they've tightened their, they've got restrictions for foreigners for the employment pass that's going to, end up getting you to that passport. So, you're going to have to take this in consideration, because it's going to be a lot harder to get the passport. Now, the government of Singapore has announced stricter criteria for foreigners wishing to obtain or renew their employment pass, also called the EP, in the country. Applicants to the EP will now be subjected to a two-stage eligibility framework known as the Compass, which would entail meeting 4 conditions. The new framework is set to come into effect September the 1st, 2023. And one thing I want to tell you something about Singapore when you're setting up a business too, unless they've just changed this, and that is that they require you to pay yourself a salary and pay taxes on that, although your business is not making any money. That is a big problem. And at least in the U.S., if you're not making money, you don't have to pay any taxes. Singapore is different. You have to pay yourself a salary. They want to make sure they're getting something out of you, okay? So when you go in and you set up a business, you're going to have to pay yourself a salary. So you're going to have money coming from somewhere to do that. And then you're going to be taxed on that money. Now, Singapore must continue to remain open to complementary talent. So their EP framework allows firms to build the best team of talent comprising locals and foreigners, so that their firms can thrive, grow, and create jobs for the workforce. And so they're wanting to make sure that you're rock solid when you come in, that you've got money that you're making right away. Now, as outlined by the government, the 4 criteria that will focus on the prospect, salaries, qualifications, diversity, and potential of the profession's support to the local economy. Now, the new regulations, on one hand, protect local employees from unfair competition, and on the other hand, it gives qualified foreigners and their employees more flexibility, says Philippe May, who's CEO of EC Holdings. And they went on to say, what are the changes in Singapore's employment pass? Now, the first eligibility stage for Singapore's EP, which is the employment pass, pertains to salaries. Currently, applicants need only to meet a minimum salary requirement of at least 5,000, with the threshold increasing progressively with age, and those in their mid-40s having to earn a minimum of 10,500 to be eligible. Now, this is per month. Now, this is not per year. This is per month. The announced changes add further restrictions to the salary threshold, obliging candidates to earn amongst the top 1/3 of local salaries in their professions. Once applicants meet the salary requirement, then they pass the COMPASS point-based system that determines the eligibility. Now, first are their academic qualifications. Those who receive degrees from top-tier educational institutions gain the highest points. The government determines a list of top-tier institutions that includes universities worldwide. Now, the second criteria in the point-based system would pertain to diversity requirements. Applicants originating from countries less represented amongst the employer's PMET, which stands for professionals, managers, executives, and technicians, workforce would be more favored and gain higher points. Now, applicants would have a better chance at gaining higher points if they're employed by a company that has a higher share of local employees compared to others within its sector. Each category has a weight of 0 points for those who don't meet expectations, 10 points for those who meet the expectations, and 20 points for those exceeding expectations. Applicants who earn a total of 40 points would qualify for the EP. Now, also, there are 2 ways applicants can gain bonus points. First, if they work within a sector that's suffering a skills shortage, which would earn the applicant 20 points. And second, those working within sectors that the government has designated as strategically important for the progress of the economy, which would gain the applicant 10 points. Now, why is Singapore government tightening the employment pass restrictions? Well, the government says that the framework would serve as a transparent system that provides businesses with greater clarity on how to hire foreign labor while also protecting the local workforce. Now, Singapore is a small international economy and needs to maintain open to the immigrant workforce, but they cannot eliminate restrictions like EU countries do, at least for other EU nationals, as this would disadvantage the Singaporean workers. Now, the new framework is part of a constant improvement of Singaporeans' immigration policy, and shows a high level of understanding decision makers have of both the local citizens' needs and those of the labor market. Now, the new measures have met widespread support for Singapore citizens, expressing optimism that the COMPASS framework will position Singapore in a competitive position to continue attracting top-tier foreign labor to its benefit its economy. If you want to know more on this program, we do the Singapore program. Go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a comment, just put it below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen right here, and you get new videos automatically as they come out. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.